shocker. This is the big one, the finale. This could be the last ever episode of the Downturn podcast, as far as Mark's concerned. It's not going to be, but it could be. Because this is his magnum opus, you might say.
This is my reason to be, my raison d'etre.
Raison d'etre.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know, but it sounded convincing.
It's good, isn't it? If I'd just not said that, I could have came across as mildly intelligent.
And intellectual.
Mm-hmm. But this film.
The Downturn, take 5.
Uh-huh.
The 13th Warrior Review.
Yeah! So good.
We have slightly different opinions on this one.
That's good, though.
It's good. I'm just...
You didn't watch this film as it was intended to be watched, I believe, though.
Well, I watched it with Haley.
That was good. I bet that's good to watch away. But this film, you need beer, lager, copious amounts of vodka.
Aye, to be fair, I was sober because it was on a school night.
Mm-hmm. Aye.
So, yeah, aye, well. No hangover, though.
Well, that's good. But
And managed to keep my job, so.
aye.
Bonus.
Well, I watched this. I only had to watch it once through. I've seen this a good few times. Do you know how I came across
I've pre-watched this a couple of times,
Aye,
just so that I had something to talk about, because the first time I would have forgotten everything.
Because you're the leader of this podcast.
Well, I'm here to be educated by, because you might can sway me.
Do you feel smarter?
Haven't
seen
the
film?
film. No.
Have you learned things from this film?
I've learned that if you listen, you can accomplish many things.
That is actually true, though.
There was actually a line in it that I really liked.
Oh. Do you want to do it now, or do you want to tell me what the...
I'll save it to that when we get to that bit.
You can't tease that big thing and then not do it.
It was quite a wee philosophical bit in it that I enjoyed, and I'll save it.
Well, Antonio Banderas' character in this is based off a real guy.
Really?
Yeah, there is real.
So this was a true story. No, this isn't a true story.
No, but there's things to it. He was a real guy. He was called that, but this is just an add-on. Like, this is something that never happened to him, but he did go to, because the book. We're doing the 13th Warrior. The title of the book is called The Eaters of the Dead, okay, by Michael Crichton. Mm-hmm. I've read it. It's a good book, but it's actually, when you read it, it's a story, but then they'll have like a little cross or something, and then at the bottom of this thing, it'll tell you information, like facts and things about the real, this river and the real places and that. So it's interesting to do that. It's a good wee book, like, and there is differences to this in the film. But
there always is with films and books. I mean, The Shining. Totally different.
Let's put it this way. The guy that wrote this book also wrote Jurassic Park. So
the book?
Awesome. Aye.
Did he?
He wrote both the Jurassic Park books.
Cool.
He did. I think this book was actually written just after Jurassic Park, the book was written.
Right.
But he's good.
I like I prefer Jurassic Park to the 13th Warrior.
Listen, I would never sit here and say...
Purely because Jeff Goldblum's in it. This film was missing Jeff Goldblum.
Is there a podcast we've done where we've not mentioned Jeff Goldblum?
I don't ever want there to be one where we do.
Jeff Goldblum's great.
Finds a way.
But if you can't have Jeff Goldblum, Antonio Banderas is a pretty cool guy.
Well, do you know what? I used to think Antonio Banderas was quite a handsome man back in my younger day. After watching this film, not so sure.
Nobody looks good in a man dress.
Well, that is true.
Mm-hmm. You watch Desperado and tell me... Is it Desperado?
Every time.
Is it Desperado?
I think he's in Desperado.
Aye. Aye, he is. And Zorro. Puss in Boots.
But in Zorro he had the moustache.
The moustache. I've seen... The only other people I've seen in tashes are some of those blue movies. Whatever they are. I've never watched it.
Perish the thought.
Do you want facts about this film before we start?
I've got some facts, Mark. Give me some facts.
1999 was the year. What
See,
else?
we were just discussing that. 1999, the year before, arguably, CGI got good.
CGI wasn't really great. Like, if you have CGI characters and they've got clothes moving, never watch it. If you watch the second prequel Star Wars, Yoda's in it, it looks awful. The film's it's the worst of the lot. It's crap. Don't watch it. But the clothes, you can tell it's fake and it's all CGI. By the time Lord of the Rings came around, I think it was, I don't know if it's the first or two towers, they sorted it. It looked good.
One word for the only argument I'd have against CGI being any good before 99 would be, well, I'm saying one word, 2 words, Toy Story.
That's animation though, that's different.
It's still computer generated, isn't it?
Toy Story's awesome.
Toy Story is awesome. I watched that this morning with the wee man. Absolutely brilliant. Was singing along with it. Bradley, who's like never seen it before, was singing along with it. That's how good that film is.
It's hard not to. I mean, are we just going to sit and talk about films better than this one?
We'd be here all night.
I think the thing we have to remember this film is, this film did not do well, and it was slated.
The 23rd biggest flop of all time.
Box office flop.
Box office flop.
After inflation. But when you look at the films around it, I don't think it deserves to be there. I think it's a decent wee film, and
It's not the worst film I've ever
No.
seen. I'm being overly critical because I know you love it.
That's fine.
I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit.
this is it can split you. I texted and talked to a few of the boys that I know had seen it. Talked to Wolfie, said, "What do you think about this?" Great. Alex, brilliant. Text Michael. Michael said, "Absolutely brilliant film. Love it."
All valid opinions.
Alex's mum loved it. I just brought it up in conversation one day, and she went, "Oh, I've seen that. I thought it was really good."
Haley liked it. She's
It
like,
was
that
good.
film. Haley thought it was better than Black Dynamite, which
Two
very
different films.
films. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
but maybe I don't know. Maybe I just preferred the ridiculous comedy of Black Dynamite. Is my kind of film.
You can have a lot of fun watching this second time room with beers with your pals quoting the lines.
Oh, I mean, there's bits in it that are ridiculous and make no. I mean, it's fun to poke fun at. Do you know what I mean?
You can poke fun at any film, though.
Yeah, of course you can.
But I can see why. You don't think there's bits of this film that I don't criticise.
Oh, but there's.
You know.
We've got notes again prepared.
Professionals!
I've got 2 pages, Mark 3, but he's got a lot of facts. I just wrote down bits that kind of cracked me up in basic plot points. I struggled to spell Bulvi, not gonna lie.
I don't think that's an easy one
I brought
to
the
spell.
subtitles up so that I could see.
Remember how I was saying I had subtitles as well, and I never did that. But this is also so it's based.
Do you not
off
think
this
though? Right, just sorry, a point on the subtitles. Because everyone's like of a different. Right, they're all meant to be Northmen, the kind of Viking.
They
crew.
never say Viking, but
They never say
Northmen.
Viking, Northmen. But not one of them has the same dialect.
No.
You've got Innes, who's Scottish.
Oh.
You've got the ginger fellow who's Irish. You've got the blonde guy, keeps calling Antonio Banderas little brother. He's Norwegian, I think.
He's the best character in this film.
Oh yeah,
do you
he's
not
brilliant.
think?
Oh god, yeah, he's the one that you can relate to.
I've got
He's
good facts about him.
He's Norwegian, isn't he?
Yes.
Is Bulvi not Swedish?
Something like that. He's been in a few things.
I'm pretty sure he's Scandinavian anyway.
Aye.
He definitely looks
Yeah.
Scandinavian.
Oh,
Blonde hair.
you can. If you had to say this guy's if you had to get a Viking, he'd be one of the top guys. Like,
Well, we were just discussing that as well because he doesn't have a beard in the film.
but
But
in the TV show Vikings, which you've not seen,
I've
really
not seen
good.
yet, but
He's in the first series for about 4 episodes. Should
Has
be
a
in it
beard.
longer. Beard, 100%.
Aye.
Full bore Viking, big beard.
Yeah,
You,
I've
and
seen-
you're a beard expert.
I'm convinced.
You're a beard expert,
Well.
so you know,
I'm
an
a man of the club.
enthusiast. Aye, an enthusiast. Right. 1999. What was happening in 1999 that you remember?
Fatboy Slim was releasing quite a lot of tunes.
Epic.
Right here, right now.
Aye,
It's a particular highlight for me.
1999. What do I think? There was probably the Super Bowl that year because they're in every year.
What year did Slipknot's album come out? Was that 99?
I think so. First album.
Yeah.
Yeah. Slipknot.
I think it was
and the
99.
Charms. Wait and
Yeah.
Bleed. Great.
Wait and Bleed, Beller of a Tune.
Belter. Stone Cold Steve Austin was kicking ass in WWF.
The Attitude Era.
It was great. Titties on TV while your mum went, "Oh, this is all right."
No, it's wrestling. It'll
Aye.
be fine.
It's not like there's a porn star getting his dick chopped off by a small group of Asian men.
Val Venus.
We're gonna do John Wayne Bobbitt Shindy.
Definitely.
That was actually the first thing we discussed about doing in the podcast, but then
John
it all
Wayne
went
Bobbitt.
awry.
Well, we've done a couple of films. I think it's about time. Oh man, I've been listening to stuff about the Zodiac Killer recently.
That's my favourite
Oh
thing
my
ever.
god, that's a rabbit hole.
Uh,
We're gonna have to do that.
I'm gonna have like the string taped to the walls with all the sheets.
Oh,
Ken.
man. The thing is, as well, look, you find out more and more about the Zodiac Killer, and when you discover it was like a teacher couple that helped crack like some of his ciphers
Yeah.
that he was sending. But I mean, I
There's
want to get
3
into
of them,
that,
and the
man.
only one's ever been cracked.
I see. There's 2 there for us to crack, Mark.
That's great.
The thing is, as well, they say that they reckon the Zodiac Killer wasn't a smart man,
No.
and you had to have to be a total moron to figure it out.
Well,
So I think we're in with quite a good shout.
I love it. But they did do that. The Green River Killer, I think he's called. I can't remember his name, but he's the most prolific in American history.
Yeah.
He was an idiot, and he killed
Oh,
about
he's an
80
absolute
women
moron.
in that.
Yeah.
It's
The
know.
only thing he was good at was killing.
Aye. Well, fin your skill.
You find your niche.
Aye. But so 1999, good year, I would say.
Enjoyable year.
Good year. I was gonna look up what other films came out that year, and I couldn't be bored because to me, this is the only film that matters for 99.
Films from 99? I can't even think.
There'll be good films. There'll be some.
There probably was.
But
Was Titanic 98?
I think
Not that I enjoyed Titanic.
I've watched that film countless times.
Oh, yeah.
Countless. Bloody. And don't get me wrong, it's a good film, but if I have to see Captain Birdseye going down with that ship once more, oh, God. But anyway, 99, good year.
Good year.
Young lads.
I think I was
This-
11.
Aye, but, well, I'd have been 9.
No, wait a minute. I could have been 11.
I'd have been 10.
I must have been.
I was born in 89, so
12,
99.
13.
Aye. But this film, now, what it was made for, there's no definite, because there was problems making this film. You could probably...
They rewrote the ending.
They redid a lot of it. The director, who... The guy who wrote the novel also wrote Jurassic Park. The director, John McTiernan, was fired near the end of the film because it was a year over date. Now, he directed Die Hard, so he can do his stuff, like, because Die Hard's class.
Die Hard's a good movie.
And he's done some other good films. This pushed back, production costs went way higher than they were meant to be. And what I could see, this is how wide it goes. Apparently, it was made for between 85 and 160 million.
Yeah, I read somewhere about that. And then, what was it? What did it make?
It made in cinemas 61.7 million.
So, pretty big failure, really.
Pretty big failure. They put a lot, but this cost so much more than it was meant to.
Yeah,
you know, they had so many problems.
Because they had so many rewrites and so many retakes and so many production
John
problems.
McTiernan wasn't allowed because he was sued to direct another film for nearly 15 years after this. So Al John didn't have not a good time doing this film, like. So there was a lot of problems, and it was over a year. You know.
But they made it over a year.
No, it was a year over when it was meant to be finished.
Ooh.
So a lot of shooting problems and things. But I don't think it deserves to be. When you look at the films that are in it, the big box office drops, I think it's by far one of the best films in there.
Do you want to give us some examples of the flops?
The Adventures of Pluto Nash with Eddie Murphy. Fucking awful. Need I go further?
Nah,
there's some bad lists here.
What's the biggest flop's Waterworld, isn't it?
I think Waterworld's alright.
Do you know what? I was talking about this with my dad today, and he's like, I enjoyed Waterworld. I was like, yeah, it doesn't matter if you enjoyed it, it's how much the film made and cost. That's what we're talking about.
My pal Gary, he went to Orlando, you know, the kind of Universal Studios, and they've got a Waterworld ride there that's still open, that's well popular.
Yeah.
So, you know, the film didn't do well, but I think it's a good film. Again,
Aye.
I would put Waterworld up there with this kind of film. It's a good film.
Like a flop, but pretty good.
Aye, pretty good.
The thing is, right, I mean, let's be honest, the 13th Warrior, it's probably made its money back with DVDs and stuff.
Maybe.
Do you reckon?
This was just cinema gross, so I think
exactly, that's like a box office thing, so it's probably not.
A few folk might purchase it after this. We're still, you know...
But with our 3 listener reach.
Aye, listen, 19 followers on Twitter, mate.
19 followers on Twitter.
That's not bad. But I don't think it deserves to be there. I mean, but over time, now I looked at this years ago, like, you know, your IMDb and your Rotten Tomatoes, a lot of these have went up. They were all low, and I've seen them going slightly up.
So they're clawing their way
ratings,
to the top.
I mean, I swear to God, there's about 2 on IMDb. It's 6.6 now.
We've kind of decided that our goal is to get the 13th Warrior to 13 on the IMDb.
I would like that. It's sitting at 6.6, but I think that's out of 10. Maybe we can get them to change that.
I mean, like in the top 100, if we could get it, if it got to 13th, that'd be brilliant.
Aye. Fucking, but it's got 33 on Rotten Tomatoes and 42 on Metacritic.
I don't think it's ever going to get 13 out of 10.
Maybe to you. Deserves it. Maybe to me. 10 on 10 every time. There are problems with this film, though, but I don't think it deserves to be there. I mean, stars of the film. The great Antonio Banderas.
Big Auntie-B.
Famous for Zorro, Desperado, Puss in Boots, and his inflatable sex doll saved the boys in Corn in South Park.
Well, that's his most famous role, probably.
To me, it was. Again, absolutely. But... really, there's not many really famous. The lady in it, the Queen Wheelway or whatever it is, who's the Queen in the Viking Kingdom, Diane Venora. She's like in it about 3 scenes, and she's like meant to be the main actress in this.
Is she?
She's barely in it. I mean, she's been in like Romeo and Juliet, The Insider, which is a belter of a film. The Insider.
Don't really remember her being
because she's not in it. I think they cut her out a lot, but that's why there's problems. There's a
lot of continuity issues.
Changing the director, changing the story.
Yeah, but there's like random bits in it, and you're like, what the?
They don't lead anywhere.
We'll cover that when we
get
after
John McTiernan, the director, was fired, the writer of the book, Michael Crichton, who had done some directing work, came on to do it. Right. And you can notice that at the end, something's gone awry, because you know it's like if you're doing a job and then you walk away and somebody comes to your job, it's not going to be finished the way you would have liked it. Somebody's not going to know where they were there. That's how it's worked, except this is on millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah. Whereas we're kind of, let's be honest, tradesmen, and it's not that big a deal. The finished article's going to look pretty much the same.
So, but I mean, that's the thing, but I would say it's good. But Omar Sharif's in this film at the start. Do you want to read out the line that Omar Sharif
I have a
said?
Quote from Omar Sharif, which pretty much sums up my opinion on this film.
Not mine.
Not Mark's. This is where this...
I think this is his finest hour. Fuck Dr. Zhivago. Fucking absolutely to hell with Lawrence of Arabia. This was your greatest moment.
This is where the arguments in this film could come in. So this is Omar Sharif's comment. After my small role in the 13th Warrior, I said to myself, Let us stop this nonsense, these meal tickets that we do because it pays well. I thought, unless I find a stupendous film that I love and that makes me want to leave home to do, I will stop. Bad pictures are very humiliating. I was really sick. It is terrifying to have to do the dialogue from bad scripts, to face a director who does not know what he is doing, and a film so bad that it is not even worth exploring.
I want you to play Adagio for strings underneath that as you read it.
Strong words.
Well, Omar, all I would say is you've done some fine films, but I'll tell you what, you're wrong on this, mate. I'm not having this.
I mean, that was him on his own film, so
Yeah.
You can't really argue with that.
No, but I can. No, I can't. I think there are problems, but I don't think I don't think it deserves that flack. But some things take our time, get more credit, and I think this film does more credit.
It's not the worst.
It's getting there. These ratings are going up, but
what is it? 15th in IMDb.
We're gonna get it higher. It's my reason for being on this planet.
This
but
is the whole
actually,
point of the podcast.
This is why it was started. We're retiring it. We're not retiring it. It's too much fun. It's for me anyway. You're probably getting that.
No,
it's coming back
not at all.
At the end of the day, I saw this with it just after it came out. Remember, you had Sky and you could order a film before it was out on DVD.
On box office.
Yeah, box office.
You
box
couldn't
office.
quite watch it on Sky, but it was like halfway between kind of DVD and.
You paid for it.
Yeah.
You paid a wee bit.
It was like renting the film.
I was at my auntie Shirley's in Birmingham, and she was trying to find something for watch for me at 10 to watch, and she thought,
13th Warrior was a good shout.
This is the. I don't know why.
Although, what rating is the film? Is it 15?
15.
It's not that violent.
No, it's not.
You
don't see much and all the violence takes part in the dark.
A lot of the violence took place early on in the film as well.
Yeah, I think
there's not many battles in it for it being about a warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, that was one of my points. I kind of noticed that.
In the book, it is a far bigger scale of battle.
Yeah,
but did you notice there was no CGI in any of the fights or anything? It was all real.
No, the CGI,
which is good.
Wasn't
but
in the fight scenes.
It's not like Lord of the Rings where there's 100,000,000 people there, but most of them are CGI. It's really done, but there isn't a lot.
It's like an old school battle scene.
Aye, but but where should we start?
Should we get into the plot?
Kick off.
Well, I'm saying, should we get into the plot? We're basically going to give you our kind of rundown of events of the film. Mm-hmm.
But Banderas' character's name, who is based off real guy, is Ahmed Ibn Fadlan. But we're going to call him Ibn because that's what the Northmen call it, because they can't say that bloody name.
To be fair, a lot of the time they just called him Arab.
Aye, Arab. That's good though. If I saw Ugandan, it's like that Sunny episode where Matt's going to have a piano and Frank shouts, "Hey, faggot," and he looks and it's like, is he a hero? Is this a hate crime?
It's always sunny in Philadelphia. Absolute genius.
Before we start this though, can we just say, have you ever seen a film? I don't think this film could have been made after 2001. Because September 11th. Because the Muslim is the hero.
Absolutely agree.
And I quite like that. Because
it's certainly, I tell you what, if you did a film like that now, that's a bold statement. And in America, you're not getting away with that.
But at the end of the day, I remember, I think it was somebody in my family who's really clever, but they said something like, all Muslims want to bomb us. And I said,
nonsense.
And I said, Muhammad Ali was a Muslim. And they went, oh yeah. Well, most of them I says, what about Cat Stevens?
The sheer ridiculousness of that statement annoys me. The thing is, right, you get pricks that are white, you get pricks in every nation. You know what I mean? If you're a cunt, you're a cunt.
You're two talking right now. Sorry, you're actually all right. Me, on the other hand.
You're all right too.
But I do like that the Muslim is the hero in this.
It's different. You wouldn't get it now.
No, it's good. But and I think he kicks off. But it kicks off on the boat.
It kicks off with a flash of lightning. And a wee guy cowering on a boat. Mm-hmm. And I think he gives you a little monologue.
He narrates the whole story, basically.
Well, yeah, but
you see it.
It's basically, it starts off like, what is it, like Law and Order? This is their story. It's kind of like that. He gives you that wee narration. He gives you his name and that, and he's like, tells you what's happening. So first things first. In his home country, I can't remember his home country. Baghdad. Was it Baghdad?
Yes, Baghdad. I've got it here. I looked it up.
Down so you'll know. Basically, you learn that he's a poet, which, if we're honest, probably not the most manly of professions.
It's called a rapper nowadays. I ain't saying she's a gold digger. No, what isn't she messing with? But he was in Baghdad, and it's not the war zone we know today. It looked pretty good.
It looked like honest to God, it looked like Aladdin.
And then told, Aladdin's Baghdad.
Is he?
I'm positive it is.
I did not know that.
Aye, as you see.
Have your hands for a trophy, street rat.
No, not seen it in years. Street Rat.
I've watched it quite recently. Not on my own.
Is it a good thing to have a wee boy that you can watch these things without feeling guilt?
He was loving a bit of Pinocchio.
Do you know what's amazing about Pinocchio though? The paedophile tendencies.
Oh,
of it.
hilarious!
It's
so many
jokes. There was a lot of things like that though. It's like there was a show on Cartoon Network that was made for adults. It's like The Simpsons made for adults, but loads of kids watch it.
With so many like double jokes and that kind of thing.
Steven Spielberg was a producer. It's really good. You can watch it now. It's good. Freakazoid. Me and my pal Michael went through like a whole thing where we just watched nothing but Freakazoid. It's great. And basically, he's got this pal who's Cosgrove, who's the police officer. He's pal away, and like they're just watching a bear on a unicycle or something. Oh no, there's a bear on a motorbike. Ken,
is this The Simpsons with the ballet?
Aye. And he just goes, Cosgrove is just eating a burger, and he's like, "Hey, Cosgrove, how come you never got married?" Cosgrove's like, "Because I like meat too much." And he's like, "You could be married and eat meat." I didn't know that. And it's like, I know what you mean now, Ken. It's great. How did we get from 13 Warrior to Freakazoid? Anyway, so he's a poet in Baghdad, but
basically, this whole story...
He's a bad boy.
This whole story kicks off about a woman. It's always about a woman. He loved a woman, but she belonged to another man.
A very influential man.
Very influential man who basically says, right, don't want that guy sniffing about my missus. So here, Mr. Sultan. Is he a Sultan?
I would say so.
Probably
it's a Sultan and Aladdin, so it's a Sultan here.
And Aladdin, so we're going with Sultan.
Big jolly yin in the
Yeah. He basically, there's a bit where you see this guy leaning into the Sultan, and then all of a sudden, we're hero.
He's turned into an ambassador to the Northern Barbarians.
Kicked out, basically.
Cast out.
Cast out. Beat it.
Torn asunder.
Stop sniffing about my missus. Get yourself to... Anyway. So, that's when you see him, he's riding his camel. And they're running from, like, kind of tribes people.
Turkish raiders.
Turkish raiders.
They have a caravan, and the Turkish raiders are trying to take their caravan.
No caravan in sight, though.
None. But we know what it means.
I know what it means, but I mean, if you didn't, you'd be like, no caravan. It's kind of glaringly obvious mistake.
What if you saw that and then there was just a big normal caravan that you get a hold of just in the middle of this? Dude, it's like that. Have you seen that bit in Braveheart where there's like a van on,
Do you know
up
what?
on the top?
Everyone tells me about the van. I've never seen the van.
No, I've never seen it, but...
If you could show me it, there's bound to be a YouTube clip. Someone's bound to have cut that and went, right, there's...
I think it's maybe bollocks.
I think it's bollocks
There's
too.
yin in Game of Thrones.
Is there?
They've got cars in it, and it's in like wet, like the ice. You know, where they go right up north.
Yeah.
It's in the last season, so it's like this big desolate wasteland of ice, and then just like two fucking cars and a caravan sitting
a Ford Mondeo and a taxi.
The only way it would be if somebody was hanging out the fucking thing with a fag again. Just, look at that.
They smoke in Game of Thrones, do they not?
I can't think if they do. You don't see a lot of smoking in things because... Is there?
Have you watched Peaky Blinders?
Aye, but
Tommy Shelby's never with a fag.
Aye, that's true.
He's lung cancer personified, that guy.
My girlfriend's got the crush on him, so I'm a bit...
Haley said it's the bad boy thing.
Is it?
I mean, I think I'm pretty bad to the bone, but who am I?
I'm the total opposite. I'm an angel.
I'm a good boy.
Nah, I'm not. But aye, so...
Anyway, so the car... Basically, they're getting chased. They end up in the riverbed. And then all of a sudden, the chasers, the Turkish rebels, they cast their eye onto someone and think, nah, we're going nowhere near that. And they turn around.
Check, please.
Check, please. We're out of here. And basically, that's when our wee hero ambassador guy is like, what the hell's this? And then all of a sudden, you see a longboat coming into sight.
Massive yin.
Nobody's messing with the Vikings. Like.
And this
Northmen.
Aye. And this was on the River Volga, which is the largest river in Europe, apparently. You have learned stuff from this, aye.
Well, you're saying I've learned stuff. You've learned stuff.
I googled.
You're educated.
13 Warrior facts. No, there weren't many.
See, when I went on it, I just typed in 13th Warrior funny, and it just showed you clips from the film. I was like, well, I knew that.
It's good fun though. It's good fun. But the best character's coming up. So then they go inside tent to speak. Now
this bit here, right? It's like a sexy party that's
going
on. An absolute sexy party that's going on. And they try and get their point across. They try speaking to the Northmen. They try a few languages, and then all of a sudden he responds to one. I think it's Greek.
Herger, it's Latin. and he speaks to the translator, who is Omar Sharif's character, who's with
Yes.
Banderas.
But,
Melzadek, I think his name is, something like that. But they're
at
talking.
that point, you realise that it's a funeral they're at.
Yeah,
and it's like, what
it's the
kind of
king's funeral. There's hookers, there's drink everywhere, there's fighting. They're always laughing. It looks so much fun to be a Northman.
Putting the fun in funeral.
Oh God, I hope that's the tagline for this. I hope you use that.
I definitely will.
And then we're introduced. So we're introduced to Herger, who I think is the best character.
He's
in
probably
this film.
my favourite character.
So much
as well.
fun. He becomes Banderas' Aben's best mate.
Yeah,
in
he
this.
calls him little brother all the way
Aye.
through.
Don't worry, little brother.
Don't
It's
worry,
so
little
good.
brother.
I spoke when me and Michael watched it with a few beers the night. Like, he watched it through. He agreed. I remember him clearly saying that wee guy was awesome, and he's not been in hardly anything else. His name's Dennis Starkai.
Yeah,
but
something.
He's been in a few things. He's quite famous in Norway. He's Norwegian, but he met his wife, who was an extra in this film, and they now have 3 kids. So
That's nice.
well done, mate.
Well
so
done.
there was some good came out this film.
Well.
Millions of dollars were lost, but a man found the love of his life.
I hope
apparently.
he didn't get paid per.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't think so. I think he got a base. Only
I mean,
Joey,
I hope-
only Joey for Friends took that option when that film didn't get made.
I hope he got a wage.
But so then we're also introduced. A fight breaks out,
Yes, between the heir apparent, Bilvi.
and you didn't know this.
I
but
didn't
it's his
realise it was
brother.
his brother.
Yeah, because
This,
he wants to
because
be
the thing
king.
is as well, they're just kind of sitting there like chatting away, and then the next thing, from nowhere, utter violence, Bilvi gets up, chibs this guy, cuts him open pretty bad, and then sits back down like nothing's happened. Back to the sexy party.
How
so,
cool is Bully?
Bilvi's pretty cool. The only thing missing from him, he's got very straight hair and no beard.
See,
Slightly off-putting for a Viking.
then again, when he's in Vikings, he's got the full beard and he's older and he's got the hair. He looks brilliant. He's also an angel and did the voice in Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, which is a fucking great game. And I can't remember that. I'd have to replay it. But we're introduced. So he is
Anyway,
now the heir apparent.
He's
gonna be the
so
next king.
he's the new king. But then they show you the Viking funeral. The old king's getting burnt in his longboat, and the young virgin goes with him. I think that's just kind of. I think it's just like introducing them to Viking culture, if you know what I mean.
It's to get across what they're doing. And,
Aye,
the
and there's like
extreme
a
way
lot
they
of kind
live.
of translating and stuff.
That's
there.
really hard. This is what they did, though.
Yeah, but I think
know.
it's just to show like what do you call him, Aben, that
Yeah.
what's going on. So from there,
There's got to be a morning after.
the next morning, the hangover.
Oh, I've got one of those today.
The Aben wakes up, he walks out and he's like, hey guys, there's a boat out there with a young boy standing at the front of it. Creepy looking young kid, has to be said.
And then it's explained through his translator that the boy is letting them know that he's real, that he's there because they don't trust the mist. There's something about the mist they don't trust.
I think it's because
The boy
Vikings,
was just being polite.
I think it's because Vikings drink quite a lot of mead
Aye.
and are probably wrecked a lot of the time.
I will never know the joys of that with this gluten.
you
Gluten
not-
comes up later.
Mead's from honey.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, but mead's from honey. You can have honey, can you?
Aye. I don't know what else is in it though. Is it just
What,
honey?
honey and booze, I would imagine.
Actually, I can't have this because it's explained later. It's fucking great. I'm well up for being a Viking. Like
Aye. Anyway, right. Aye. So back to where we were. The creepy
the
kid
spit
comes in.
bowl.
The sharing of the gauze.
No, how good is this?
Now, it's not part of my morning routine.
Explain what it is.
Well, basically, it's every guy, like the Viking, the Northman, spit in a bowl and
Of water.
blow their nose in a bowl, hawk up loogies into a bowl, and then wash their face in it.
And then
But pass it to the next guy,
Uh-huh.
who does the same. Now, if you're first, if you're Bilvi, I imagine, he probably gets first going the clean water. You're not having the sharing of the gauze. Now, it gets passed around and then eventually gets to Aben, who you'd say politely declines, but he's a bit of a bitch about it. So he just kind of shoves it back, and they all kind of like have a wee chuckle at him. That's when the young boy comes in and basically says that they need the help of Bilvi, and that's when they bring in the Angel of Death, who is, let's be honest, a crazy old lady.
A vulva is what they're called, and it's a
Vulva?
wise woman. A vulva, not a vulva. A vulva,
Oh, right.
right?
Sorry.
You've got that smile like, I know
it's-
what one of those is, Mark.
It's all in the pronunciation.
Aye, what is that when you're doing there? Is that, But but the boy explains that his father's kingdom is under attack from an ancient evil, and they won't utter the name. They go, don't answer, you don't speak of the name of what this is or what they think it might be. So she comes in and she throws all the bones on the floor, and she does the old right,
scat singing.
Aye, and she basically says that they need 13 warriors to
13 warriors to go.
But
so they rattle through.
They
all volunteer. It's quite a hardy bunch of guys. Big Innes, fish still game.
Big Innes, Clive Russell, all famous Health Dane is the character in this. He's also been in Sherlock Holmes, Game of Thrones, and he will after he does this film, he'll go and save Craig Lang for the Neds.
Correct. Which has been his most important role? Definitely still game.
I would say ever.
Do you know what? I didn't realise he was in Game of Thrones until I can't even remember what the hell I looked up the cast, and then when I seen him, I was like, hold on a minute. And clicked on it as I was going through, obviously, and it came up and he was in Game of Thrones. And I didn't realise until I saw his character, and I was like, of course he was in Game of Thrones. How did I miss that?
Aye, he does look a bit older, though, than
he
here.
Does. I mean, he will be older, obviously, but I was shocked to realise that. Don't know how I missed it, mind you, but anyway. He's
the second one to volunteer. They're all good to volunteer, and then 12 volunteer, including, of course, Bulvoy, is first to say he's going to do it. And then they get to 13 and they're in the foreign tongue, but they all look at Antonio and through his translator.
What he doesn't realise is basically he has been volunteered by no one, but I mean he doesn't put up any fight. It's like, by the way, Antonio, the last guy has to be non-Northman blood. That's you. Get your horse.
Aye, but
saddle up, big boy. We're on our way.
Would you argue with him?
Probably not.
Aye,
but then what he should have said was, "I'm a poet."
Aye,
and I do know it. I'm shit. Because
he has to go. I mean, that's the thing.
He has to go. Yeah.
Plus, that woman being the angel of death. Oh, I think about Slayer.
True. Yeah. When they said they bring in the angel of death, I'm just thinking,
Imagine Kerry King. Kerry King, young Kerry King. In fact, Kerry King now could have been in this, actually. Exactly. He'd have looked good for this. Unfortunately, I don't think Charlie Murphy would have fit into this one. Nah, this is one of the few films where we'd have to say, sorry, Charlie, we can't have you in this. Because we'd have Charlie Murphy in just about everything.
I would.
It's awesome.
But anyway.
Now we're on the journey.
Aben saddles up.
Oh, yeah. True.
Innes takes great delight. I know he's not called Innes. I'm just going to refer to him as Innes. Because to me, he's Innes. He has quite a chuckle barking at Aben's horse, which totally cracks me up. He's like, woof, woof, woof. And they say the point is like only an Arab would bring a dog to war.
Great line. There'll be a few great lines in this film.
Hilarious.
Admit it, there's some good lines in this film.
Oh yeah, there's some belters.
Good.
Yeah.
See, that's the one I need.
That's when they go and they start their journey. Bit of snow. Don't know why there's snow to start with. Obviously, well, I suppose Northmen. They're
going a long way.
They're going north, so the snow's there.
In the book, this journey takes over a year.
In the film, it's like a minute.
Everybody loves a montage. All right.
Anyway, so on the journey though, that's when you might say Aben starts to pay attention to what's going on around about him, and they're all chatting away. And in the film, it's like changing from foreign to half English to half foreign. He's starting to understand the language.
Because he's meant to be a translator.
Well, he's an ambassador. He's not an idiot. He's a poet. He does languages and stuff. Yeah. Anyway, he starts to kind of basically one of them insults his mother. And he just says, he comes out with,
I've got it here.
Have you wrote the words down?
He begins to hear. Yeah, he begins to hear certain words, and then eventually he can hear them exactly. And they're talking about. He said some guy.
He goes, I bet it looked like that one's mother.
And then
he's like, my mother was a pure woman from a noble family.
And at least I know
who my father is. You pig-eating
son of a whore. Oh yes!
Absolute violence ensues.
I'd love you to splice that in if you do, but if you don't, it's so good. Again, it's so good.
Maybe take a note of that.
On it slipped through her while we took the horse.
No hearts, both of you. She probably was some smoke-collared camp girl. Looked like that one's mother.
My mother was pure woman from a noble family,
And I, at least, know who my father is. You. Pig-eating son of a whore.
No. Hey! Come on. Come on. Where did you learn our language?
I listened.
But so after this, they have a wee kerfuffle, and then one of them goes, "Where did you learn our language?" Line of the film.
I listened.
More laughing. They start to respect him a bit, and they all have a chuckle. It's good. And his best pal, who we go into, Herger, is the one that's laughing and hugging him. He's all for it.
He thinks it's brilliant.
He's the best character in this.
But then when Bulvi realises that Aben's not an idiot, he goes up to him and he's like, "You can draw sounds." And rather, I think it was patronising. Mark disagrees. He says he's just learned the language. I think he was like, "Yes, I can draw sounds, you thick dick." Anyway, he then basically shows Bulvi how he writes down, what is it? There is only one true God, and Muhammad is his prophet.
Woo! 2001 when they get made after this,
well,
wouldn't
that's it.
But
It's a red flag right there.
It shows that Bulvi is a good leader, and he's always wanting to learn. He's not just some big moron. He's a cool guy. He's a guy you want leading into battle.
But then anyway, the next morning, they all start barking at Aben's horse again, which then leads to him taking a wee Grand National round the course. It was the big ginger fella. I can't remember his name. He's the only Irish one in it.
I've got it written here, I think. No, I didn't write it. Anyway.
He wasn't that important a character, but
no,
anyway,
no.
he slags off the thing, and Aben's like, "Yeah, I heard your shit the other day. I had enough of it then." Does a wee lap of the course, jumps, and knocks him off his horse.
And he starts laughing after
And he
it's
starts
done.
laughing, I mean, everybody thinks, oh.
They start to respect him. This is them starting to get...
This is the beginning of the kind of turn. They start thinking, that guy's alright, isn't he?
Yep.
So, from there, we end up on the boat again. A lot of laughing with the Vikings on the boat.
Laughing through everything!
They're laughing. Aben looks like he's having a hellish time.
Aye. This is actually a callback to the very start of the film, where he starts telling the story. But it looks so much fun. They're in funerals, they're in sea and death, weather that could kill them, laughing like Lieutenant Dan on top of the bloody thing.
I actually had a bit of issue with this bit, but we'll get to that. They get there, they're obviously going through mist, and one of the guys is shouting, "Odin!"
And they're shooting arrows.
And they're shooting arrows, because it's as if he's hearing the echoes bouncing back off the land. So they're using that as like instead of a lighthouse, they're using that to detect land. They shoot flaming arrows to see where they're going. All of a sudden, they find land. The next cut from that scene is basically the guys getting off the boat with their horse. Now, I don't think the boat was that big. Mark disagrees. There's no down, like, below deck. And all of a sudden, 13 guys and their horses get off this boat.
How do you know?
Because I'm surmising that I've seen it.
I need to come back and look at the book and try and work that out. Anyway, it's a big boat, though.
Plot hole.
It could be. I'm gonna have to go back and look at it.
Plot hole.
But then their navigator.
They get off first, and then Bilby has a wee spelling game. He shows them how to write in the sand, and then
he's getting the hang of it.
He's getting there, and then he corrects him. He like puts a full.
He only gets
puts a full stop in the end. His grammar wasn't quite
for
there.
Muhammad.
For Muhammad,
or Prophet, or whatever the last name was.
And he missed the capital M.
So they're here now. This is where they're meant to be coming.
That's it. Yep.
It's King Hrothgar's kingdom. That's where they are.
Yeah.
It's not really a kingdom. It's more a farm where it's a village. It's a big village.
It looks like a few shacks with a town hall.
Aye, perfect.
No fences, no defences. No old guy. What was it they said? There's not a man or a boy between 15 and 50 here. So basically,
barely anybody.
What are they going to do to defend themselves? Nothing.
Aye.
Women and old people.
Now they're led there by the messenger man, but they get out and the Adam's having the smell going. Light on the trail.
A lady.
No, he goes, perfume it. Ugh, a woman. A woman. And then it turns out it's a silk-sliding messenger boy. That's great lines.
That is quite a
So they
funny
follow
line.
this guy and he takes them through, but they're going to see King Hrothgar. You can explain how awesome Bulvi looks going into this bit.
He basically branges in, knighted up. He's wearing armour. He walks in. And I mean, he walks in, he looks at the Queen, kisses her hand, and he's just like, it's like he might as well walk in like he's the Fonz.
I mean, but the king is old, but he's a brave guy. But he talks like, "Oh, bring the boy to me."
I like how you automatically went for boy.
Well, the word boy, there's a lot of boys at bloody, like, hanging about on boats and things.
There is,
but
to be fair.
but he goes, "What troubles this place, old man?" And he does.
Basically, he gives him the spiel. There's an ancient evil kicking about. We dare not speak their name. The prince, who obviously the king's son, comes off as a bit of a dick. Really,
He's a pretty big. He's one of those like, "Oh, what have you done? Great. What have you done? Look at me, I'm the prince." All that kind of pish.
and then, but we'll get to that bit because I think I maybe jumped a wee bit ahead there anyway. They go outside, so they're talking about this kind of evil. And,
no one's heard of this thing in 100 years.
Nah, it's not been there for 100 years. They basically accuse the king of being mental.
And then, but they say, "Oh, there used to be lots of them around these parts."
And then all of a sudden, Aben walks off, and then he's like, "Gentlemen," with his hawk eye and the squinting in the sun. Instantly notices a crying naked child running towards
another wee boy.
Quite a distance, I might add.
He's running out the forest though, and he's
running out the forest.
Now
He's in tears. He's obviously quite clearly distressed. He's been caught up in one of these kind of like one of these attacks.
He's covering up his ears and he's covered in blood and he's naked when they get close.
Aben got to him beforehand.
Oh, he did.
Anyway, so they rush down. This bit gets me as well.
Oh,
so they rush down, and the random women, like, they get there and they're like, "Oh, find someone who knows this boy." From nowhere, a woman appears and goes, "I know him." And it's like, right, okay. So she kind of puts her arm around him, and they're like, "Oh, what could have done this? Where is he coming from?" And she's like, "I will show you. It's at the Glen." So she leaves the boy that she was instantly like caring about. She just like, "Oh no, fuck him." So she jumps on. "I'll take you to the Glen." What annoys me with saying "doing the Glen" basically is she's not Scottish. She cannot pull off that word.
It's hard to be
You've got to be Scottish to pull off the word Glen, I think.
Luckily, you're just the guy for that.
Well, we're all about Roman and the Gloman and the likes.
Noticed, we're Scottish. So they go into this farmstead, and what happens there, Chief?
Well, basically, they walk in. There's a lot of kind of, obviously, that's like an eerie music playing. They walk in. They have a kind of sniff around, see what's going on. They find a few bodies, no heads. But what? There's a lot of blood all over the place, or quite possibly a decorating accident. They might have been trying to paint the town red.
Oh, Jesus.
Blood everywhere. But anyway, Aben walks around and he finds like an arm underneath this thing. So he like goes to lift the kind of quilt back, as it were. The arm falls out.
The old Samuel L. Jackson Jurassic Park trick.
That's him. He's had enough of that. Like,
he's outside throwing up.
He's outside. He's chundering.
And then his pal goes, "So it's true then." But what did they find, Scott?
They find titty rock is the only thing I could really describe it as. It's
pregnant titty rock.
Pregnant titty rock.
Aye, it's a
looks
little
like
ornament.
Like a lump of coal.
Aye, that's been shaped into it.
With boobs and a belly.
And he goes, "This is the mother of the Vendel."
Right, was this their calling card?
Aye.
Or did it just fall off one of them?
I don't know. It's not explained in the book either.
It's not. It's strange.
It's like they've had it on them and it's fell off or they've left it there. But you actually see the outline of one of them looking at the forest like...
Yeah, and you see the rock. But again, he kind of was wearing it, so I don't know why he would have left it.
It maybe fell off in the kerfuffle. They maybe all have one.
Maybe.
And
then that's how you get get in the club later and it's like, "Well, you've not got your titty rock, mate." Sorry, mate.
Your titty rock.
Sorry, mate. No trainers.
And Aben goes, "They have been gnawed upon." And then he goes, "It is said that they eat the dead."
Aye, yep.
So these are cannibals, basically.
And it's like, but that's when they come out with, "They are not men." So
you're led to believe that these are animals, like
they're monster things.
Monsters.
I mean, you kind of get a look at them in the shadows, and it looks like quite a beast. Anyway, you go back. They're having a meal. Obviously, the meal before the big battle, as it were.
Well, they come in the mist. It's explained. So when there's a mist, they will come.
There's a mist that night.
They're all in the town hall having dinner, basically, and Bulvai's there. And the king really likes Bulvai. He says, "Known him since he's a boy. He's growing to be a man." Fine man. There's a lot
of gay innuendo in this film.
There is. I think there will be when you look for it in films, you know. But
what do you mean look for it?
Well, you know, sometimes. Well, look at us. We're talking about it. Again, boy, this gay tendency. Nothing wrong with that.
Well,
but so then the prince is going, "Oh, I've not." He's being a wee bitch, isn't he?
He is.
Sarky as fuck.
The only way you can describe it is Bulvai puts him in his place. The prince has a hissy and fucks off.
Well, he says, a man is only as good as his deeds and things he's done, and the only thing I've heard about you is the story of you killing your brothers. And he stands up and he goes, and the king's like, sit down, these are guests at my table. And he storms off. He does a lot of storming off because he's a wee bitch.
But there's not really any point to him in the film.
I think there was meant to be more later, but obviously with the director changing
That's
scripts,
one of the things, it's like two halves of a film.
Yeah.
And that's one of the points that kind of annoys me.
Apparently it's an hour and 42 minutes long, which is a good length for a film, but apparently it was meant to be about 2 hours, so things been cut out.
You can see that,
Aye.
quite obviously, and I think that's one of them points.
I think it hurts the film a wee bit. I think it could have been a lot better.
The bit we were getting to there, though, is... then he has the crazy guy giving the description of what came...
Because there was a guy,
he lost an
Eastwick
eye.
it was called, because they've not heard for a lot of the villages up north, and one of them asked for help ages ago, and they've not heard, and he explains what attacked them. Then and he goes, he explains it quite well, you know. He explains it well, and he knows what attacked him, and he's lost an eye with it, and he says, and both was trying to get information. It's like, do they walk on 2 legs or 4? And he says, it seemed they did both. They would switch, almost like a bear would. And
quite funny how the guy was English, and you're making out like he was Italian.
Well, I can't do accents, can I? What would you prefer? Oh, it appeared they did both, my good man.
Yes.
I would love that. I love films where one guy, like, nobody mentions it, but it'd be totally out of place. Like, just, I was watching something earlier, and I was talking to, I think, with my mother, and I was saying it was like a lot of, it was like, it was a rap video last night when we were watching it, and it's just all black folk, because it's, you know, it's in, they went back, it's Kendrick Lamar, King Kunta, which is a great song, and I think, they gone back to his hood, and I said, say what would make this video perfect, for absolutely no reason, just in the middle, it was like the whitest guy you could find, and it shouldn't be like that.
Kind of like in Black Dynamite.
Yes, I'm like in Black Dynamite. Oh wait, that'll be great. But anyway, so he kind of explains what they do. So you're not kind of sure what these folk are, what kind of monsters. You get
basically
they identify with bears.
He gives you a kind of description, and the closest you can get to it is man bear.
A man bear.
Well, that's kind of what he says. Though.
Aye.
Again, there's another gay innuendo in there.
Oh God.
But anyway, what they say, the next part is where they're all lying in this kind of the hall, waiting for them coming.
Because they've not drunk this night.
They've not drunk. They're staying
because
well
there's
sober.
A mist coming.
Because they ken what's coming. So they're lying in this. They lie in like a circle, and they're having a wee snooze. And basically, Aben says, "How can you sleep at a time like this?" And this was the line that I liked. He's like, basically, what he says is, "Your fate is fixed, so there is absolutely no point in panicking about what's to come." I thought it was quite a good line.
They don't fear death, do they?
Nah, they
go
rat's
head
ass.
on.
So
and
they all have a wee sleep.
Aye, but they're not sleeping, are they? Because Eben wakes up and then looks.
Eben wakes up kind of like a nightmare, though.
Aye, he's had a nightmare, but then he wakes up and looks at his pal Herger, and he notices, and Herger grabs him.
Grabs him and flings him back.
Because he's not sleeping. You can see them all clutching their swords, and then he explains to him, because you can see them creeping outside through the moonlight, and you know they're coming in, and he goes, "Now I love this." He goes, "When they come in, we form a circle in the middle of the room."
With their backs to them.
Great, with backs to each other, and he goes, "I am not a warrior," and he goes, "Very soon you will be."
I've got the
Bang!
I've got the part where they had their backs to backs to each other. That's so that they couldn't get bummed.
You're looking for these things now.
It's surprising the amount that we found, though.
Yeah,
Just
you're
saying.
making them now.
I'm not making that. It's just, when they come in, we go backs to one another.
Aye. And then they flee in, don't they?
Oh,
They're like fan over
tearing
each other
it.
as the door.
God, aye.
And the
There's a big
fighting
fight.
shoes.
Big fighting shoes. Kind of hard to really describe that.
It's
a fight
dark
scene.
because
It's dark. You can't see much.
two of the Northmen die.
Two
in
of them
this.
die.
Two of them die, and
Heads cut off.
They all, you notice them. They take the heads, and then they're only in for a wee bit, and then they have a kerfuffle, and then they run off, and they take the heads.
Aben takes a mean blade to the face.
Aye, he does. Aye, and they all say at the end, Eben goes, and his pal Herger, because he gets flung by one of them into the wall, and Herger finds him later. Well, he didn't run.
And laughs again.
I'd always laugh, and two of their pals are dead, and they notice them with the heads, and then Eben makes a good point. He goes, "I see none of them," and he goes, "Who of them?" And then they'll go, "I killed two, they could not have been Eben." He says, "Even the Arab gutted one, there was still some life in him." But they notice that they've took their own dead.
Yeah.
So there's none of them there to identify them.
Creepy.
But it's good.
But anyway, the next part, he's obviously getting his face sorted out by the wee nurse. And he moans. He's like, "Ah." And she basically tells him he's a bitch. He's like, "That's a woman's noise." He's like, "Keep going on like that. Do that again and you'll be making it." Oh, Antonio.
I know. Apparently
you
women
bad
like it,
man.
because she seems to quite like him. But
She
then he
does, aye,
goes,
but I mean, she's washing his face with basically het up cow piss.
and he goes, "No,
And he's
bring
like,
me water."
"No, bring me water." And she's like, "Aye, so when you're all infected, the more and I'll laugh," kind of thing.
And he goes,
and he's like, all right, I use the pish. So,
so next
after
day,
that, the next part, this is probably one of my favourite bits of the film. It's the build a wall montage.
oh, it's great, isn't it?
Very Trump.
Oh, I don't think Trump put spikes up in it. Like,
I think he would if he could.
I think he would. The madman. But do you ever see that video of the Mexican guy who talks like he's like, oh, he's going to build a wall to keep us out? Does he realize that 70% of us come by plane? It's fucking great.
Mexicans, they don't give a rat's ass.
So then he gets the sword, and the Vikings are showing they're tough. They're pounding these things, and all the villagers, they've got them working like Ken. They're ruling with an iron fist, and he shows them. They put the stick into the ground, and they cut it twice with a sword to make it sharp. And he tries to this, and the sword's too heavy for him.
So
and
he makes
goes,
his Aladdin sword.
He goes, is there a bladesman? And he goes and he makes his wee Aladdin sword, and he's like, he insisted, give an Arab a sword, and he makes a knife. But he's well talented with this, and he shows them, and it's like, and then
the thing is though, right? What really annoyed me about that bit is he's like, I'm a poet, not a fighter, and then he gets the sword that suits him, and he's chucking it about like he's
too. But there is a few things with that where he's like, this is too heavy for me, this sword. But then he does the flips and that, and he puts it to the guy's throat, and he goes as a laugh, and he goes
like, can I give that to me daughter
after you're dead? There's a lot of good lines, Chief. There's a lot of good lines. But so they start making this, and then meets his wee woman again, and she tells him that
she gives him a wee drink of water.
She's helping him out, and then she talks about the fireworm.
Yeah.
And what the fireworm is.
And the dragon. He's like a dragon. He's like, I don't believe in dragons.
Coming from the hills, and he's laughing about it. The prince, and she tells him the prince is a gossip, and he's been poisoning folks' ears, saying that they are here to take over the kingdom and all that.
See that again. This is like the prince. What was his beef? Because
he's
it was never. Because
doesn't like Bullseye.
Yeah, but because he was never mentioned in the film again, it's a pretty pointless part.
This is where it goes.
I mean, the little fight scene that comes up soon.
Bullseye says he needs an example, and Herger volunteers to be the man. He says Bullseye shouldn't be involved. They're all got their backs. They're all pretty strong friendship here. Yeah. Like, reminds us a bit of us, Chief. You know, strong bonds. So basically, they say they need, and they go, well, we need an example. The big ginger one.
The biggest one we've got.
Oh, he's huge. So they're digging into the. They're digging dirt.
Like a kind of trench,
like a moat,
fortitudes kind of thing, like to make it like a structure so that they can't penetrate it.
And Herger starts flinging the dirt on him.
I just imagine when he's like, "You dig like a dog." Do you call me a dog? And he's like, "No." And then he chucks some air mud at him, like really manky mud. And then he's like. That's when he's like, so I'm an animal now, and he's like, you do not listen, so I'm deaf. It's like
the old Billy Connolly lines.
Pretty much. This guy's he's spoiling.
Did you like his squaring up? How his voice kind of changed? He's like, so boy, I tell you what I'm gonna say. It's great. But so basically, what they're gonna do, Evan comes out and goes, what happened? And he see the other guy sharpening his sword, and he's like, what happened? Engineering dispute. So basically, I was going to say game. This isn't much a game, is it? But what they're going to do is they've got 3 shields, and they're trying to break each other's shield or kill each other in battle.
I think it's kill each other. You've got 3 shields, and then once they're up, you're fucked. Basically, is the way it's going.
Herger goes, he's bigger than you, yes, and younger. Bet on him if you like. It's great.
And he's like, I might.
I might. Thanks, Antonio. But so what happens then, Chief? Explain what you see.
This is where the wee fight kind of kicks
This is the last thing with the prince. Like, they kind of teach him a lesson.
Yeah, well, that's the last you see. This is what
I think there should be more. Again, this is parts of the story later on.
But they have the wee fight. I mean, obviously the big guy takes the piss out of what's his name, Herger.
No, Herger's the wee fat.
Herger's the wee guy, yeah.
The big ginger guy. They explain later. His name's Angus.
Angus, yes. Well, Angus is fighting. I mean, he's wailing on Herger, like knocking lumps at him, knocks him over with one.
Herger's panting. He's sucking air,
but he's making it look like he's knackered. And then he gets, like, basically...
The first 3 rows of folk have died of oxygen deprivation. Exactly. Nearly, he's panting so much.
The fight basically gets down. So Angus is winning 3-0. He breaks Herger's last shield, sorry.
He kind of lies down, doesn't he?
He kind of lies, like, leaning on his sword as if he's going to, like, take his head
Prince
off.
gives the thumbs up to do it.
It's very, very Roman, kind of Caesar style.
Gladiator.
Thumb up or down.
Do you know, actually, the thumb down, actually... It was the opposite way around. It was thumbs up to kill them.
Yeah, well,
It got it wrong because Ridley Scott did Gladiator, so the painting, and he said, no, the thumbs down works better for the film. But it was actually our way
To be
round.
fair, it does. Like,
Aye,
doesn't
he
it?
does.
You know
But
what
he
I mean?
does.
But,
So he says to kill him, and what happens then, Chief?
well,
Hergar.
basically, Hergar gives him the old switcheroo.
Mm-hmm.
He's been hoodwinked again.
Hoodwinked again.
He comes round and just basically lops
Lops
his head off.
And he throws the coins to the
throws
prince.
a bag of coins at him, and he's like, basically,
See to your man. He was
we're-
a brave fella, huh?
we're onto you, bitch tits.
And he fucks off, and then he's pouring water still, and Antonio goes, You could have killed him at will.
Because Antonio
yes?
the whole time is like, stop this fight, this is mental, he's
Aye.
going to die. Because he's
Says to
obviously...
Bolvi,
Aye,
he could die. It's possible.
that's a possibility.
But he goes, You could have killed him at will. Yes. So why deception? And he goes, Now he has to think about what he can't see. And it's pretty clever. It's clever with the way we've done it. So you realise...
But again, it's a pointless bit. And don't get me wrong, it was one of my favourite bits of the film, but it's pointless.
I think there was more meant to be in it later.
Definitely meant to
But
be more.
then Bolvi goes, We will miss Angus tonight. We'll miss his sword. You know, it's
Aye,
like...
it's basically like, we've kind of fucked ourselves there.
But we had to do this.
Because he was a big cunt.
We had to do this. It's either them or us. We had to get one up on the prince. So
Exactly.
defences are looking good.
Defences are up, the mist comes, the horn blows, fireworm.
Explain what the fire...
The fireworm basically is bears on a horse coming with like torches and pitchforks.
There's so many of them though in a line.
Yeah,
It looks
yeah, it
like
looks
you
like
can
a
see it
snake
coming down.
Coming down.
And
Basically, it's fire snake.
and then they go, That's the firewoman. Hergar goes, I'd much prefer a dragon. Hergar's the
But-
best, isn't he?
But again, another girl outside the fucking wall.
Oh god, it's the
And
girl.
who's
the,
gonna
the
go
Vikings
and
are
save
like,
her? They're just like, oh well.
Look at her.
Aben right in there.
Gets out. And
So he gets his dog out and he basically jumps the wall. Again, they're like, ha, the dog can jump.
Aye.
So he runs, he rescues the girl.
And who
they
does he see?
basically,
He sees the leader of
oh
their
yeah, he sees
warriors.
the leader looking right at him, and then he basically pelts it away for them. They have to break the fucking defences down to let him back in. So basically, he cost more lives than he saved, you might say.
Maybe. But I tell you what, see once the night falls and that fireworm and they're all there with the battle, because darkness descends and then they're outside and they start throwing torches into the...
Burning the place down.
Trying to...
Yeah.
It'd be one great heavy metal album cover, wouldn't
Oh,
it?
yeah,
It would
totally.
be so good, Ken.
I actually preferred the aftermath when you seen them walking around and it
yeah.
was just like burnt shells. That was cool.
Great. But Allah, Eben, sorry, prays to Allah and asks for mercy, which is a nice wee... You know, you wouldn't see that now, would you?
Well,
At
no,
all.
no.
You know,
But
fighting
basically,
shoes.
There's a wee battle in shoes, and then that's where the kind of big plot twist comes.
Well,
Shock horror.
Eben kills. Well, he knocks one of them off, doesn't he?
He kills a few of them.
He kills a few, but then he
Because
knows.
that's when you get the immortal phrase, Don't
Don't
worry,
worry.
little brother. There are more.
And he points and then
points
there's,
and there's like
but he's
two
got
of
the
them,
biggest smile, and he's like, "Look behind you, man."
two of them coming at him, and he's basically
Ergar's the
it's
best,
like,
isn't he?
get on with it, mate.
He's so good. But then
He's
he
so
notices
funny.
that it's a man, but they're
man.
dressed in bears.
It's a man. It's a man. He says that a few times. We've basically
He's
established
not
that
as
it's a
scared
man.
now because he knows
No,
what
because he
he's
knows
dealing
they're
with.
men.
And they're just men, but they're like Neanderthal kind of men that are all made up, and
They blinked up. They try to make themselves look scary.
they try and make themselves kind of look like bears, basically.
Yeah.
But they're quite creepy looking in that,
Oh, yeah,
and
creepy
they're obviously
looking.
cannibals. But when he notices man, he starts killing more of them.
Oh yeah, so
But then the first line of defences go down, and what do they do? Did you notice when they fall back? Okay, they do the old Braveheart trick. They get the sticks,
oh yeah.
point it into the ground, and the horses run into them, and it's
Yeah.
like, what do I do with this? Put your foot on it, boy.
But then I can't remember why they rushed away. They just seemed to turn away and disappeared.
They seem to attack in little bursts.
Ah, it was weird.
But but then
Not much of a war.
no, but it's like they do a scavenge and they come in. The four more of the Northmen have died in this now. You see them dying.
Yeah,
And
there's a
they
few of
take the
them
heads. There's a big thing. They always take the heads, and
I don't think they got all their heads, did they? They
no,
didn't
there's
quite get
four.
everyone.
Well, there's four, and but then after the fight, Eben's chasing them and that, and then he stops and he's speaking to Hergar and he says, 4 more of our brothers are dead, basically, and he's drinking the mead. Now this is where the old gluten-free comes into.
This,
Now it's obviously for religion, but he goes, no, I cannot drink this. I cannot have anything fermentation of grapes nor wheat. And he starts laughing. Hergar goes, honey, it's made of honey. So he starts drinking it,
Downs it.
downs it,
And
gets it.
then that's when
Bum, chicken, bum.
that's when he pumps the wee maid.
Aye, he gives her a good shoe in. You don't
And,
see it though. Ken, classic film, 15.
The thing is though, he's like she says, I think like she's standing beside him and then she's like, we may die tonight, and he's like, it is possible. And then she grabs his hand and he totally takes advantage of that. I mean, would she have pumped him if she knew she was going to get to die in the morning?
It's Antonio Banderas, mate.
Aye, but She only pumped up because she thought she was scared to death. Like,
If you had your last night,
last night on Earth, what you gotta do?
get your knickers down.
Exactly.
You know,
Correct. So that's
absolutely.
why she did it, in my opinion.
Are you trying to say that Antonio Banderas took full advantage of this?
Yes.
Fair dues.
Are you trying to disagree with that?
No, I'm not. I just wanted to get your point across.
I'm not, and I'm not slagging him for it at all.
No,
I think
no.
any man in that situation would do the exact same.
And so then they're like, we can't keep doing this.
So,
This is indefendable. There's too many of them. So they go and they meet. Now this is another wise woman, the vulva, and they go, there is a woman here who's older than she was older than my grandma was young. She's quite mad. Hergar, brilliant line, the perfect advisor.
Aye.
You know.
But the thing is, as well, she speaks in like riddles.
Aye, old bastard.
I hate that. Folks, see what you mean. No, I mean, Carl Pilkington was onto it when he says, see what you mean. Stop speaking in riddles. I love Carl. Cryptic chat.
Mm-hmm. But
you see when they were actually on the way to see him, do you know what cracked me up? See when they were leaving, he was like, right, come on, get in your horse. Did you pump her last night? The gentleman never tells, but when he was leaving, he's on his horse. Did you notice that she sticks her hand up and kind of like gropes him on his way out? Gold.
great, innit?
The wee passing grope on the horse on the way by. Hilarious.
I love it. But she says, do you have something of theirs, a token? And she's saying to Bovai, and he gives her a titty rock. He goes, she is the mother of the Vendel. And he goes,
speaking in fucking tongue.
Aye,
like
but she basically, then she starts sleeping, and she's like, seek them in the earth. And then she goes, Bovai, beware the leader of their warriors. He too you must kill. So basically, what she's saying is,
take out the two heads.
you have to take out because she says you can kill them by the foul. It will not matter. You have to take the heads of the mother and the leader of their warriors. Basically, you have to get them both.
Yep.
So how they follow a trail.
Oh yeah.
And the
that's
dogs
when they find a lot of bear skulls. The dog kind of doesn't take kindly to the bear skulls.
And he goes, Eben goes, where would they be? And he goes, how do you hunt a bear? It's like, how do you hunt a bear in winter? And he goes, go into his cave with spears. And he goes, there's a waterfall up ahead. And he goes, Bovai, is there a cave? And then there they are. But like, how would you explain this? There's a huge
like a bridge,
and they're going straight into the rock face. And what they do is it's a great wee trick, isn't it? They get one of the headdresses, and one of them disguises and walks up to the two guys at the gate, and they're like, he doesn't, and then they stab them and shoots an arrow at them across and knocks them right in the skull.
Oh,
it's great.
It's a good moment.
Aye, and then they just run into this creepy as fuck cave.
Basically, the guys on the door are typical bouncers.
Yeah.
They weren't a guy to let them in because he had trainers on, and they took an arrow at the face.
Do you know what I had with a
Pretty
bouncer?
much your standard night in Dumfries.
I had a bouncer, right? I'll not say his name. He's all right, like, but he was a bit of dick here. And we were going out, and he was in my year at school, and he was actually technically younger than me. And he was working at a bouncer in one of the bars, right?
I did you.
And I was like, how you doing, man? You all right? He's like, aye, not bad, mate, not bad to see you. He's like, aye. And he's like, ID, please. And I went, you taking the... And I was sure. I was like, no, Mark, get your ID out, like. And I was like, oh, fuck off. Like, went all serious about it, and I was like, fuck you, mate. You know
I'd
what
have
I mean?
left.
Aye, well, no, I just did the brave thing and called him a prick behind his back, and then did it years later on a podcast. But aye, so basically they run into this bit. Now it's a creepy as fuck cave, and this.
Well, I couldn't really tell you. I've never been in many caves.
I've been in a few.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
No, we're trying. You want to go in? There's a big hole in the rock. You want to go and see, didn't you?
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, I don't like going with like a torch, like not like do you know what I mean, like a, what's the fucking word for it, like a stick with fire on the end of it.
That's a torch.
Yeah, but you wouldn't call it a torch.
No, in games they call it a torch.
Yeah, there's an actual word for it, isn't there?
Do you not think that was what they called a torch before the electricity one was made?
Probably.
Aye. Trust me, in Skyrim and everything they call it a torch.
Can't imagine you're getting a head torch in Skyrim.
No, but they gone through and they gone deep into the earth, and they actually they sneak past, and
it's pretty stealthy how they get past.
Innes will only take his armour off. He goes, "You'll have to kiss me first, dearie."
Good line from
But
Innes.
he knocks a wee stone and it hits it, and there's these cannibals, and they're all sitting there like eating remains,
and you're like, fuck's sake,
they sneak through, but then they go into like this bit, and Hergar goes with the torch, goes, "Look at your feet, surrounded by skulls, mountains of skulls," and Eben goes, everywhere. "I was wrong. These are not men.
These are not men."
Great line, Antonio. So basically, they keep going down. They reach a wee waterfall, and they have to do the Alvine trick.
Right,
the Tarzan
this
vine
bit
trick.
right here. I mean, they had to abseil across the water, just because. There was no point in this bit.
They couldn't reach the other side, but they're trying.
I know that, but it was like the waterfall. Let's just abseil it, just because it just felt like it was like
they had to stay out of line of sight.
Yeah, but
I know what you mean.
Do you know what I mean? It felt really.
It's good though, but they eventually get down and they climb up, and then there's a wee chant.
The bit that got me with it is because it was like that felt forced. It was like, of course, Antonio Banderas I am not a fan of heights. That's what made it feel forced. I was like, fuck off, Antonio. And of course he nearly falls and Bulvi has to pull him up.
But hey, you know, they get there. So they climb up and there's like... so they're outside the room basically where the mother is, and you can hear all these like priests and chant around, and they come up behind them and start whacking them. Like.
Not that good a chant. I mean, I've heard better barbershop quartets. Just throwing that out there.
Debate, hey boys, we are here, shag your women and drink your beer. Imagine that. But no, so they start killing, and then they say to Bulvi, "Go on, kill her." So he goes in. Now I like this bit of the film. They got in, and it's quite creepy. Good music in this film, wouldn't you say? It's good soundtrack. They use a lot of the soundtrack later on for the film Kingdom of Heaven, including the main theme. So they got in, he's gone in to see the mother, and Innes takes a shot to the chest here.
Yeah.
Subtly, that'll come into play later. But so he goes in to find the mother of the Vendel, and he's passing. They've got these vines with loads of heads and skulls in it, and you see the guys that they're pals that they've just
pretty
killed.
Much like the worst Christmas decorations you could ever get. Do you know
I've
what
seen
I mean?
some bad ones. You know what the best gin I've ever seen? Now I've seen it kind of in real life. It was on American Dad, and it's basically like it's like spray paint of Santa with like 3 women, and it's like ho ho ho.
That's the best.
That's what I said.
Ever.
I said that's the best one I've ever seen. So he goes down there, he looks around and eventually comes round, and the mother of Vendel's there. She's got a snake through her thing. She's got a big, massive claw. There's a guy there. He runs Bulvi, takes care of how quick.
He's mincemeat
crap.
pretty quickly. But what the woman does, the mother, she dips her finger in like this black stuff. Instantly, you're assuming snake venom.
Poison.
So basically, a wee fight ensues. Obviously, Bulvi's guy win. He's a big butch man. He's got a massive sword. He lops her head clean off, but not before she has cut him slightly on the arm with that freaky long ass nail she's got. So Bulvi, you're thinking, he's been poisoned.
He starts to deteriorate.
He's fucked.
As they come out, you notice he starts to deteriorate.
He starts getting rough, like.
So basically, they can't. They know they're there. They're coming from, so they go deeper. There's another passage leading down.
Well, basically, their option is fight the 20,000 folk that are living in this cave, or take the other road out. So they follow the water. The stream must go somewhere. They run. Now, this
saddest moment of the film.
This is where Innes basically turns
Mayor Adagio for strings in the back.
Turns to Aben. And that's when he says, "I've run as much as I care to run," basically. So that was the...
I bet he says, but then he gives an Ice Cube line. Did you not know? He goes,
Ice Cube line?
"Today was a good
Today
day.
was a good day.
Go." But
Brilliant.
So Big Innes, he's there to die, but he'll sort it Ned's in the future and with Jack and Victor. So don't worry, he'll be back. He'll be back with Sturi Maduri. So basically, he stays, and the Herger actually says, "Helfdane," and he goes, "No, he's still."
It's just a shaking of the head.
But they're following the stream. He says, "We'll keep following the stream down. It has to come out somewhere." They get there. Dead end, and they go, but that's that fucked.
And that bit was actually quite funny. Like, the stream has to go somewhere, and literally, like, the next cut, it's like, the stream has stopped.
But Herger says, "We'll fight by twos, give those a chance to rest." And Bulvi's starting to stagger, and that poison starting to take
rough.
it. But then they mentioned earlier that they called this the Thunder Rocks, and there was a surf. And Eben, they hear the running outside, and they're like, if it's just when you thought it couldn't get worse, now it's gonna rain. They'll start pissing. They're gonna die, and they're like, fuck this is great. I fucking love it. And then Eben goes, wait. Thunder Cave. The surf. There's a surf down there. So they go, do we swim it or do we fight? And Bulvi's like, try it. So basically, they swim down.
What got me was somebody had to drag Bulvi through that. There's no way he was swimming or holding his breath.
He could still, he still wasn't fucked. But
he was moving, but he was rough.
Aye, but you know, when your life's on, you didn't really see Bulvi do it, but I think obviously maybe somebody helped him. Aye, but they get through. And do you know do this bit in the films? Now I've seen folk do this. Now I used to do this back in the day. Now I've seen folk talk about it now. When somebody holds their breath in water in a film, do you try and do it? I did.
Not with that one, I didn't, but I have done it before. And then it's one of them things you just do it.
It's a great comment. It's on YouTube, Facebook all the time, and it's like, you ever tried like holding your... Somebody's typed into Facebook, you ever tried doing that? And somebody replies, "I almost died during Finding Nemo."
Yeah.
It's great. So, but they get out, they make it, and they all gasp for air, and they're out.
But they're safe.
And they get back. So they get back to the village, don't they?
Yep. Yeah, they do.
And basically Bulvi's not seeing through the night.
Aben's he's pretty gutted. I mean, Bulvi's not arsed. He's like, you wear that face for me. And he's like, "I cannot help it." And he's like, I wouldn't worry about it, mate. I'm fucked, like. But then he says, "My only thing is, It's like he says,
I will die a pauper.
I will die a pauper with these hands. And the king says, aye, you'll have a king's funeral.
Aye.
And he says, what makes a great man were like, basically, if someone was to write the story.
Aye. To draw
the story
of his deeds. And Eben goes, some man would be very wealthy indeed. And so basically he's saying, write about this. And Eben
he's like, I'll write the story,
says,
mate.
I'll write. And I love that because that comes into play at the end. So basically he goes out and sees Hergar and he goes, I cannot sleep. I'm not tired. And he goes, you'll have to. They'll be back tonight. And he goes, again? And he goes, we killed the mother, but we didn't kill the leader, and they'll want revenge for killing them, which makes sense. So he goes, I don't think they'll be fogging in. I'll horn, they're coming. Like, they're just like, fuck this, we're just coming for it. He wants revenge. So basically, they still have to kill the leader of the warriors, or they're fucked. So, quick set up to defences, basically, don't we? And
basically,
you see the leader, and the day they're...
it's in broad daylight this time, so you're getting a good look at them as well.
And they want... he says, look at them, they're all ready to run, all the villagers and that, and they're like, wish we had Bulvi with us. And
who comes out? Bulvi and his dog.
Aye, with his big ass sword, fucking staggering. He's like, it just stands right in front of the defences. He's like, let's do this.
Like, let's go
and then they do their awesome Viking chant.
Aye, the Viking kind of prayer.
Aye, back to my fathers, back to the beginning. And
it's like, I'll fucking live forever in Valhalla.
And Eben does this
Basically,
after he prays to Muhammad.
Do you want to know what they should have had playing? Playing over that part. Immigrant Song, Led Zeppelin.
Oh, class! I love it. That would have been perfect.
That would have been brilliant.
So basically, Eben does his wee prayer and he says, I've squandered my days, but give me strength here, Allah. And I love that bit.
Good bit, but what actually got me, right? Muslims pray 5 times a day?
5 times.
That's the second time in this film he's prayed?
But you don't see him through the whole
bit
film.
Bit of a bad Muslim.
I don't know. He's just, it's not time specific. He's just saying, merciful Father, look after me. It's good. I know, but you're right.
I'm just pointing at the plot holes in this film.
So basically, what happens then is they attack. Bulvi's at the front.
Bulvi looks like hellish. They need to kill the horny guy.
That's all they need to kill.
That's all they need to
do. And he's there for it. He wants Bulvi. That's the whole thing.
But there's a lot of slow motion in this battle.
This is where the director change happened, apparently.
Was it? Do you know the only thing that got me as well? See when like the battle happens, Antonio Banderas does a few mean rugby tackles as well.
Doesn't have? No, it's the dog gets in it as well. Starts biting somebody's face.
I took a note of that. The dog's getting tore in.
Love that.
Where did I put it? I was like, even the dog's having a go. But when the horny guy comes in, Bulvi takes his horse, and when he hits the horny leader guy in the chest, and you see when he hits him, it's like he goes flying back like he's on some sort of bungee cord, which is like the legs and arms go up. So
while he's on the ground, Bulvi gets hit twice. And
he takes it's like a club though. It's not a sword.
They've got clubs. Do you not notice that most of the time they've got clubs? Those guys. The leader of the Warriors, he's always flinging a club about. There's no swords in that.
You're right. So he takes a mean clubbing or two, and then basically that guy's on the ground. So Bulvi just basically walks up and sticks a chib right in, right through his gut. And I don't think he cuts his head off.
No, he puts it right through his chest.
Yeah.
And leader's dead. The big horn.
That's it. The horn blows. They disappear. Bulvi's sitting down.
On a throne.
As he's knackered dead. And dies. Pretty cool end.
Awesome, Bulvi.
Basically, they give him his Viking funeral.
What he wanted.
He got his king's funeral.
It's all over. And
then the next scene, basically, Zabin gets on his long ship.
He's talking to his pal Hergar.
And he's like, I'll pray for you. And he's like, to what God? All them.
Aye. Well, he says,
he's like,
one God for you might be enough. Us, we need many.
Aye.
But he's the best pals. He's like, goodbye, Arab. And he's like, goodbye, Northman. It's a good wee goodbye.
Nice wee end scene.
Hergar's alive. Best character in the film. Lives right to the end.
Oh, yeah. Class. And then, basically, the very end of the film.
He's older.
And he's writing his book.
Back in Baghdad.
Writing it from right to left, which was quite a nice touch.
Yep.
That's
how the Quran's
written.
And he says he thanks the Northmen for helping him become a better man, become a man. And you realise that he's been writing. This is the story that he's been writing of his tales and Bulvi. And end film.
1 hour 40 minutes.
Good watch.
No, is it 1 hour 40 minutes?
1 hour 42.
42.
If you want to be precise.
It was alright.
Decent wee fun. I think my thing.
There was another bit I forgot to mention actually. When they were finally coming at the end, before the last battle.
Still talking about porn and.
No. I really meant to mention this because this was one of the glaringly obvious. Where the fuck did that come from? the bit where they were coming for the last attack, and the wee woman goes into like the cellar where all the kids are.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
just goes. She hands this woman a bunch of knives and goes, "Do not let them be taken."
Uh-huh.
That's the end of that scene. What was the point in that?
Again, this is with that Diane Venoria, who's like meant
Mental.
to be the
There was no
second
need for that. It was like 2 different halves of a film. That's my beef with it.
I think
That's how I
like
can
you
see it
say,
was a flaw.
there's about 18 minutes of this film missing.
I definitely.
That's what I've read about it. It's actually like the director changing everything. It all changed, and it's a kind of mixed match. And you notice that, like I said, when that last battle, that's apparently the moment it happened. Like you can see there's changes.
There's
and
so
things.
big, like things in it that you're just like, what's the point in that?
Aye,
It's a disjointed story. It's not that the film's not.
Do you know
like,
what I like
horrendous.
about this film though? I mean, there's the Muslim, and I don't think it deserves to be. I just think the thing is, I think it doesn't deserve to be the flop that it is. It's a good film.
I have
to
seen
watch.
way worse films.
Aye. But you know, what was I going to say? You've seen far worse, and it's good. But I like this film. I can't think of another film that's like this.
The thing for me with it is, right, I think the more times you watch this, the more glaringly obvious plot points you will find that are wrong.
And the more times though that you'll be
You'll
doing
be,
the quotes along,
but cracking up with the stupid bits. You know what I mean?
Yeah, aye, they're silly.
It's
You'll
one of
have a
them.
laugh as well.
Oh yeah.
When I watched this, I was terrified when I was young about the cave and that now. But you know, now you look back differently. But it's just a good fun. It's a good drinking film. If you've seen it once and your pals know it, it's a belter. We have a belter at time watching
I can
this
see.
film.
Yeah. Aye.
It's a good drunk film to watch, and it's a decent. I think I mean, you're maybe not keen on it, but a lot of folk are keen on it.
It's not. I'm not keen on it.
No, it's all right, but it's nothing special.
I just
You
didn't
far
enjoy it.
prefer Black
I
Dynamite.
just thought Black Dynamite was better.
It's that's a class act to follow though.
Shall we get into the ratings?
I'll give it. I can't go. Give me.
I think you should go first because you're giving it golden turds.
Do you think it deserves golden turds, or do you think it needs a proper?
I'm just
actual-
giving it turds.
right.
Controversial. This is where
Just
Mark's.
turds?
This is where Mark's face just went from quite happy-go-lucky to wanting to stab me with his Pepsi can.
I'm gonna have to sharpen it and fashion it in some way. No, I'd give it maybe 4.5.
4.5 golden turds.
Aye, in a good way.
See, if we're giving it golden turds, I'm giving it 2.5.
I think that's absolutely fair.
Because just because of the obvious kind of like different halves of films,
Aye.
I think it had potential to be so much better.
Oh, definitely.
But having said that, I enjoyed it, and I like the stupid lines, and I love how the Northmen were just so happy to be like having a riot.
I'd watch the spin-off with Hergar.
I would watch a
That
spin-off
would be
of Ergar,
so
actually.
good.
Just him though. I
Aye,
mean, you
just
didn't
him.
need Aben in it.
Aye.
Bulvi and that, just him. Just
Aye.
him like going about chipping folk.
Hergar goes on holiday. You know, I'd watch that.
I would watch that.
I think I've got it, but it's one of those things with me. I think is sometimes when you see something when you're younger, you think more of it when you're older. Maybe if I saw it first time now, I wouldn't think the same way. But I've seen it a lot of times. It always entertains me. It's a good film to watch when you're drunk. I don't think it deserves any stigma. I think it's just a good film that you can watch and you'll probably enjoy it.
Aye.
And
As I say, it's not the worst thing I've
No,
watched. It's not the happening.
no, oh, for Jesus, wavy wind, fucking bollocks.
It's the plants.
But you know, I'm quite happy with you getting it 2.5. I'm just happy you've seen it.
2.5 golden turds. If I was giving it turds, I'd probably give it like it's not the shit. I'd probably give it the same turds
Aye.
actually.
No,
Do you know what I mean?
that's fair.
2.5 turds
Aye.
out of 5.
I just it's one of those films that never doesn't entertain me. And
It's because it's like one of them ones. It's like mixed feelings. Do you know what I mean? Mixed emotions.
like you say though, it could have been a lot better.
It's funny, but it's shit.
It's great.
Whereas Black Dynamite was just gold.
It's a special film.
It's
though.
a fucking brilliant film.
Well,
But anyway,
happy days. I feel good.
we've
got
been
this off my
we've
chest.
been out for a little while.
The cold will do that to you.
Well, life kind of got in the way. I was on call and I was busy, and then we were going to do this on Thursday. It's Mother's Day today, so happy Mother's Day, Mum.
What a perfect Mother's Day present this is.
Just saved myself £3. So yeah, it's been. We'll probably maybe have to do another one pretty quickly. I mean, our adoring fans. I have had countless message about when's the next one coming out.
It's good though. Nah, it's been good. I'm quite excited today. I was really excited today. This one, I think we're getting.
I think we've decided on our next film already.
It's a belter.
Hot Rod.
Oh yeah. Now, you've still
We're,
not seen it, have you?
I can't remember seeing it, although Matt started talking to me about it. He suggested Hot Rod, so I think we're going to get Matt on for that one. He suggested Hot Rod, and I was like, I don't think I've seen that. And then he started telling me about it, and it's Jake Peralta from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I'm gonna run through.
I think I've seen it, and I was like, I'm pretty fucking certain.
Do you
I've
like
seen that.
Andy Samberg, who was Jake
Oh, yeah,
Peralta?
yeah.
Do you like fake mustaches?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you like a boy trying to beat Evil Knievel's bus jump?
Here we go again with the boy.
Aye.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Do you like montages of training to the music by Europe?
I love montages to anything.
To Europe, though.
Even Rocky had a montage.
Aye. Right. It's so good.
I'm looking forward to it. I think
I first seen this film drunk at Chris's with about 18 folk.
nice.
It was fucking belter.
Aye, so I think
Danny McBride, mate.
Hot Rod's a good way to go then. So I
Aye.
think we'll go for that next. And then after that, should we mix it up? Should we?
I think we'll either mix it up next, or we'll do Hot Rod, or we'll do Hot Rod and mix it up. I don't care either way.
I think we should do Hot Rod next because I'm kind of excited about it. Now.
All right, cool. No, I'm happy with that. Aye, but then
we
we're
might
gonna
actually-
mix it up, mate.
We might actually have to do a bit of research for the next one if we're going to do something.
I know shit tons about it, but I don't know the answer.
What with the Zodiac Killer?
Oh, I don't know any. I don't know the answer. I've you know I do have the book. The film's based on. Have you ever seen the film?
No, I don't
Zodiac.
think so. Should we do that?
It's good.
We should watch that.
Oh, do that and then
right,
do the
yeah,
story.
we'll do that and then. That's
It's
brilliant.
a good film. It's a long watch though.
I'm alright with
It's
that
a
though.
good film.
Honest to God,
Robert Downey Jr.,
I
mate.
was talking, handsome man.
Aye.
I was talking to Haley about the Zodiac Killer today, and I mean, I love that kind of stuff. I love like learning about serial killers and
It's
stuff.
interesting because we'd never talked about this, and when we listened to last podcast, I left to do things like
It's
this,
just like we
and
kinda,
then realised that we had
another,
even more in
another
common.
level of geekery between us. So I mean, yeah, I think we should
What,
definitely do
the
that. Right, so
films-
we'll do
it's good.
Zodiac.
It's good,
We'll do
but you'll
Zodiac,
have
and then
questions if you watch it just once.
Oh, I'll watch it more than once.
Trust me.
I'm quite alright with that.
I might try and reread the book if I've got time.
I
it's
will
based on.
probably watch a few documentaries on it.
Aye,
to be
do that.
honest,
Listen to the last podcast, Jen, about it as well.
I've listened to that.
Aye, there you
Listened to that a few times.
Mhm.
I will probably watch a couple of documentaries on it.
It
just
is
to-
my favourite. I love stuff like that. It's my favourite kind of
It's
story of
the-
serial killer. It's the mystery and how they botched it, and
Oh, it's just
the fact that
it's-
so much hasn't been deciphered all these years later.
Oh,
It's so
crazy.
interesting.
It's like the Jack the Ripper
Aye,
in
Jack the
America.
Ripper's great.
Jack the Ripper's
Aye.
brilliant as well.
Tally ho, I'll buy Gentleman Jack here.
If you have a chance to listen to the last podcast doing Jack the Ripper,
Oh, it's so good. That's where I started. It's
worth
good.
it purely for Henry Zabrowski's.
Aye. And away you go. That was the one that we thought, well, we can do subjects like this if
We
if
can
they
talk
do it.
absolute nonsense
as
like
you
that.
can tell. But we've even listened to this. This has been my favourite one to do so far.
I think we'll probably get this up pretty quickly. I think this might go live tonight.
I love it.
We won't take long to edit this.
I hope
like-
it sounds good. I've really enjoyed watching this film again, and it's always a pleasure to see you, sir.
It's always the pleasure's been all yours.
yeah. Right, I'm happy.
Should we call it a day?
I'm happy, boycott.
I'm gonna call it a day and drink my cranberry juice because I'm detoxing like some sort
It's
of
gonna be emotional.
like some sort of sicko. Right.
I love it.
Pleasure.
Thanks.
The pleasure's been all yours.
Thank you.
See you later.
Yeah.